GM. GM. Long time no see, eh? Long time no see. So, doing this quick video, which is basically just talking about why I've been gone. I've been gone quite a long time, and there's just several reasons for that. I suppose at some point I'm going to go a little bit deeper into the video and explain for those who are interested. However, good to note that I'm back. We're so back. Back again and ready to continue the videos, daily videos, channel, the whole thing. So we're going to start off straight off the cuff, easy, which is pretty much just a breakdown of a trade that I am taking and a trade that I suppose has a lot of potential to learn. So I did write some notes about this, which is basically just this trade right here. So this trade taken from here to here. So the reason why I wanted to do a video on this is just because I feel like this is what stops people from becoming consistent. And it's the whole explanation of why people aren't profitable consistently. That's what all this video is about, consistency. So let's dive into it from at least my perspective, why it doesn't work for someone who's, who's become it, and someone who is trying to teach others what I should have known when I started trading, at least, which is the following. When you don't trade for a while, you're basically desperate for the market to give you anything, any win. And you might convince yourself of pretty much, if I just take a simple one-to-one, then I'll be good. I'll just jump into the market and I'll start trading again, I'll be profitable. However, the problem with this is that you fall into a gambler's fallacy, which is pretty much just whatever the market gives you, just take it and just run with it. However, that's not really how trading works. How trading works is that you have to be consistently doing something over a long period of time to be profitable consistently. That's what we're talking about today, is consistency. This is example proof of this, right? So a lot of people, let's say in this area here, I can drop down to a shorter time frame so you can see it. Right here, that little box right here, that was my entry signal, right? That's my entry. I'm going to enter at this stage, right? Now, if we replay this right around here, this is my entry signal, but it's not my entry. My entry is right here, correct? We're sticking with it. My entry is right here. Everybody's psychology is telling you that you should just take it here because the likelihood of it bouncing back here is lower than what you're taking it right here, all right? So far, you're still with me. And as this happened, I saw this candle forming. So there you go. You have to remember that this is not accurate to it. You have to remember this happened over a 30-minute period. So for me, I was sitting debating for a long time. Should I take it? Should I take it? Should I take it? And I forgot the most principle of all. You need to follow your plan. Once you have a plan, and this is months and months and months of work, hard work, or maybe you'll just get given it. A profitable plan does not become profitable until you start using the plan, right? Now that may seem obvious. However, the human psychology I've found, at least in myself, is that that's not always the case because humans feel emotions, robots do not. And so when you're taking a trade off your plan. Let's say you're taking your entry off a plan. And once the signal provides itself, you're jumping the gun. A lot of people don't realize that not following your plan is a loss in itself, even if it does turn into a win. Because you think, okay, I'm smarter than the markets now, right? But you have to understand that trading is literally just, there is a plan. You must follow it to the letter. And you will become consistently profitable if you do this several times over a longer time frame. So fair enough. Let's say you took your entry right on the higher low right here. And you're good. You're in the trade. And as soon as you did, you got a little bit of pullback here, but you're now in profit, right? So I'll show you something here. I'm going to take this off here. You'll see this, right? So right here, I was about 1.4% up. I had not traded in a while, right? At this point where you're seeing the money start coming in, everything in your mind is telling you, just take the profit, and the next one, you'll do it the right way. You just need to get something. But the market doesn't work that way. The market doesn't work in a way where it's just bound for you to do good. You kind of have to be a little bit like a hunter. You have to wait, get your entry. So let's say in the hunter terms, you'd find a nice camping spot. You've been playing this camping spot for a long time. You've seen some potential that could arise from it, which would be an animal, right? Reindeer, something like this, right? And with this reindeer, once you see it, you start losing all your focus. You're just like, okay, it's in. So now I just need to take the shot and I'm done. However, let's say 2 minutes after that, you see 2 reindeers. And your goal is, for example, to get as many reindeers as you want, or as many reindeers as you need to survive a winter. The one seems like a good option. However, that's not what you need to do. Imagine the next day there is no reindeers at all. You would have easily regretted that decision straight away, but the next day. This is pretty much the same as trading, because you'll take a trade. Let's say I did take it in profit right when it was there, because I was like, okay, it's good. But it's not going to help me tomorrow, because I still got to get up and I still have to do it. And it was this whole stress of trying to just extract something from the market instead of following the plan. The hunter goes out and says, I need to catch 6 reindeers. After that, I'm done. Anything above that, sure, great, amazing. However, I need to catch 6 reindeers. Much like this. My take profit is 1.24%. It's not. It's down to 2.5. If I can aim here. There, good enough. 2.5 is my take profit. Right? Let's keep going. Got a bit of drawdown right here. 2.5%. Actually, I'll go back here so you can see what I was talking about. Is this following my plan if I close it right now? No, of course not. Retrospect is always, the best. You always think, oh, I'm so smart from it. At this point here is about 2% of my thing. Everything in my head was telling me, close the trade. Just take it, it's good enough. But that's not what you can't do that to the market. You have to come in with a plan, follow the plan. So 2% isn't what I was planning to take. 2% is down here. Price is down here. It's the same concept as this. You wouldn't take this. You wouldn't take that either. And I remember throughout the whole day, I was checking it, I was making sure, and it was my psychology just went straight out the window, right? Because I'm not following my plan. I was following my plan here, and I'm still following my plan. However, it gave me a bit of an insight to think, okay, this is what makes people not profitable. Because they'll see something like this, followed by something like this, which is where the price is right now. It'll be right around here. Is where I should have taken it. I mean, I could have made all that money, all this stuff. I mean, a 1 to 2 isn't that bad, right? You see what I'm talking about? Stick to the plan. The plan is 2.5%. Anything except for that is not a win. Just because you made money does not mean you win. That's the biggest thing I learned in trading was just because you are making money, just because one day you made some money does not make you a trader that is consistently profitable. You might be a trader, but do you ever notice that the people who do trade for the first time, they actually manage to get a win? The problem is not getting a win here and there. The problem is doing it consistently. For that, you need a profitable plan, and you need to execute it to the letter. Right? So if you're not hitting 2.5%, your system either needs adjusting to make it so that you are consistently hitting that. That's something you have to backtest and stuff like that. Or you are sabotaging your own strategy by exiting early, by just having this FOMO that the market is not giving you what it needs, and you need the market to give you something. It doesn't work this way. That is gambling. When you enter the coins in the machine, you are hoping to get some money out. When you're a professional at poker, you're not hoping to get some money out. You have a plan. This guy's doing this, this guy's doing that. Okay, I need to do this to make sure to reduce my losses, all this stuff. Do you understand the differentiation between the two? So, really, it just comes down to that, where if you do want to be a consistent trader, you just have to do it over and over and over again. That's why the robots are the best, because they have no emotion. Either it's 2.5 or it's a loss. That's it. You have to be the exact same way. And most of the time, throughout this whole day, I didn't even take a look at this. After this stage here, right around, this was about 12 o'clock, right here, and this was still bouncing around, stuff like that, I thought, what am I doing to myself right now? Even now, this is so close. It is not hitting my 2.5, so it is not for me. So, this is just something I noticed in myself. Even being experienced, even being the guy who has experience in the markets for a relatively long time, it still catches me out. And I can't even imagine about the new guys who just started trading. They're just stressed all the time. That's what I hear from most people who are starting to trade. They're like, I started smoking. I'm like, why? You just have to have a profitable trade system. I mean, okay, that's quite stressful, but after that point, I think you're good. You just have to execute it. They're like, no, but what if it doesn't hit? Well, it doesn't hit then. Either your system is shit or your emotions are coming into play. You must remember, you are not smarter than the markets. You are not smarter by the markets. And you constantly need to think, even if you're making 13% per day, you are not smarter than the markets. You are just having a consistent, very profitable trading strategy, may I say, but you're still not smarter. So you need to be humble. You need to be very, very humble when it comes to your trading. Because trading is like hunting. You're not a genius for spotting the animal, which would have been a genius for spotting the entry. You're just in the right place at the right time with the right system. You must accept that there are ups and there are downs with this system. You will not always make money. You will not always lose money. There's a quick analogy I can make, which is the fallacy that when you flip the coin several times in a row, one is more likely to hit than the other one. So tails, 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 tails. What comes next? Heads. You'd think. But the chances are still 50-50. Just because you had 3 bad trades doesn't make it that the next one's going to be bad and you have to increase your risk and blow your account like that. It is just copy-paste every single time. And the success really comes from being consistent, trusting the process. That's why it's so important to do case studies, because you need to have that faith in yourself. You can't just blindly go at it. But you could, but your emotions come into play. Unless somebody else is trading for you that has zero emotions whatsoever, which I doubt, there's always some sort of gain to be made from trading. So you need to accept that there will be some really high ups and some low downs. As long as you are staying within your risk margin, as long as you are taking the trades that you need to be taking, not the ones that you think you need to be taking because some other people are taking it, because your system is telling you need to take it. And you just need to let the market do what it needs to do. Now, if that means you're going to make money, amazing. If it doesn't, change the process. So when it comes to really just getting down to the nitty-gritty, it's just straight up, and no trader will tell you this, it is just straight up following the system day by day. And a lot of people will say, oh, look at the big wins and all this stuff. You have to also remember the account size is completely different than what you have. But it's just something you need to think about when you're trading. This is not an emotional game. This is a very much technical, just ignore your feelings kind of thing. And unfortunately, the robots aren't smart enough to take the entry system, in my opinion, yet. However, I don't think I would want them to do that, because I simply am not involved in the process. I like the emotions that come with taking the trade and stuff. So the emotions need to be, okay, I am stressed about this because, for example, you would need this. However, I trust myself. I trust the system. If you do not trust yourself or your system, you shouldn't be in the markets trading any money at all. Because otherwise, just go to the casino because you have better chances there. That was pretty much it. So that's the reason why a lot of people who strategy hop are never going to be profitable, because they're following somebody else's trust. If you understand what I'm saying, is that since their system perhaps works for them, you do not have the same experience. You have not sat down and actually evaluated critically through hundreds of case studies. Is this actually profitable, or are they just selling it? Because I see all the time on Instagram, all these traders trying to sell their, trading strategy, all this stuff. You must remember, perhaps it is profitable, but they are fully confident in their ability, and the loss does not affect them so much financially that they cannot afford to lose. Because in trading, you will lose. If you flip heads 6 times and you get heads, if you flip tails 6 times and you get heads 4 times, you're still profitable. If it's 50-50, change the system. But if it's 6-4, you're still profitable. Now, likely it's going to be more like 7-3, but you must accept that there will be losses. And that is not something that is wrong with the system. It is something that the market does. I feel like whoever is going to watch this and think, okay, yeah, but the markets are after me. Trust me, that's how every single fucking trader feels. Every trader thinks that the market is after them. In some sort of way. They're just straight up targeting you. But I swear it is not like that. It's almost like a game to the market where, okay, is he going to stick to his process, or is he going to become unprofitable by just YOLOing it and just saying, I'm just going to close it? Look at this. While we're talking about it, the price went so close. We're talking, let's see here, let's measure this. Talking about, let's say 4 pips away from my take profit. However, after analyzing my own emotions, I know I'm just yapping and saying, well, I'm just not following my system. Once I am, phenomenal. Money's to be made. Money will rain down from the sky as soon as you follow your system and you do not care about the noise. You just know, if I follow this, and I do it every day, I don't slack off, I just do it every day, I will become profitable. And this is an income source. This is not something that is a bit of here, a little bit of there. It is an income source, at least for many people, or trying to be for many people. You're not going to go to your job one day and just try to do everything all at once, one day, and then you'll be good. You have to show up every single day, month by month, 9 to 5. You have to put in the work. Then you'll get your reward, which will be your wages. The market is no different than this. You must research, you must backtest, you must build your case studies, you must build your confidence in yourself. There's so many things that you need to do. And when I was younger, younger to trading, I suppose, I thought, well, this is boring because there's nothing to do. But the real lesson is when you realize that there is everything to do, constantly, all the time. There's constantly something you could be doing, but you're not doing it because this is just fun. if you're trying to make this into an income source, you have to understand this is not fun. This is something that has to be taken very seriously. And once you do, like I said, money will fall. But yeah, that's pretty much the lesson for today. The market breakdowns, and the one I took today was USD JPY. The one I'm thinking of taking perhaps would be AUD CHF, but it's not looking good, bruv. Next one is AUD JPY. I was waiting for a retest here. Unlikely to happen, based just on straight price action. This actually, I wanted it to go up. This was something I charted on Sunday, I believe. And it went straight up here, but still, it is not something that has interested me yet because, well, it's not following my system. Once it does follow my system, let's go. So that's pretty much it. I'm done recording for now, and you'll hear from me about the same time tomorrow.